Hello and welcome back to Wednesday's episode of the What is K-pop podcast. I am your host, Sophie. I got into K-pop about 3 years ago, just over 3 years ago now, and I talk about members, I talk about groups, I talk about discographies if I want to. Soon we're going to talk about survival shows, like the groups that have made out survival shows, the survival shows themselves. I can talk about. I did an episode on family dynamics. I did an episode on Y2K. And yeah, pretty much. I just do whatever I want. I talk about whatever I want in regards to K-pop, J-pop, C-pop, T-pop, P-pop. Any sort of genre of music. That is in Asia. Obviously, some groups are Korean American, so I guess you can call it American pop music too if you wanted to. I will never talk about like Western music though, because personally I don't have many opinions on that, other than that I don't like it. I prefer K-pop and that Eastern side of the music industry, if I'm going to be honest. It interests me a lot more. A bit about me, because we've actually had a couple more listeners recently from different countries. So if you're listening to this, thank you for listening. It's always a pleasure to have new listeners. Yeah, so my name is obviously Sophie. I'm 20 years old. I was born in August 2003. I am from England. However, with like place names, I do tend to say that I live in the town of Bristol, just for like safety kind of purposes, as it is somewhere that I actually know relatively well, as my dad comes from down there. However, I do actually live elsewhere in England. And I sometimes talk about my life in general. I have 2 cats that sometimes, if you hear like a disembodied jingle, that's them. I record in my parents' living room. And yeah, I am doing a college course at, I can actually say it, Nottingham College. Nottingham College is very, very good. I'm doing their online level 2 courses at the moment. I've done 2 so far, currently doing a third, plan to do a 4th in September, with the hopes that with that I'll eventually get a job. However, this is another story time that I will tell you about. I went for a job interview yesterday and I failed so miserably. It was actually embarrassing. And so me and my mum were talking in the car. No, we actually weren't. We were talking when we got home, because I was crying in the car, that I should start up a business. So if that works out, I will update you obviously as things go on. But the plan is to hopefully make bracelets and phone straps and pieces of jewelry connected to K-pop. So the job interview, what happened basically on Monday, so 2 days ago, if you're listening to this on the day that it comes out, so on the 25th, I received a phone call from this guy that works in a care home that's near to where I live. And he was like, hey, I saw your application. I saw that you have quite a lot of qualifications in care. So I was just wondering if you actually, instead of applying for the housekeeper job, do you want to apply for like a caring job? And I was like, not too jazzed about that, not too much of a fan of that. And so I was like, okay, actually, no, I would prefer to do housekeeping because I get quite anxious, and that, it is less communicating with like the residents potentially. Like, I'd prefer to do that. Obviously, in the future, if a care position comes up, I feel ready to do it, then I would transition into that if that's okay. And he was like, yeah, no, that's fine. So he was like, oh, we want to talk to you this week. And again, if you're listening to this on the day that it comes out, it's Easter at the end of this week. So I was like, okay, shit. Okay, so tomorrow, so being yesterday, Tuesday, I'm free because my mum was getting her car MOT'd, which is like a test in the UK of like motor vehicles, making sure they're road safe, basically. And so I was like, okay, well, I actually don't know when the MOT is taking place. So actually, well, we'll just go for it. I didn't tell the bloke this. I also thought that he was a cold caller, so I actually put the phone down on him to start off with, and then he rang back. So I was like, "Oh shit, sorry about that," and he was like, "Yeah, no, it's fine." Anyway, so I took the interview, and it was at 11, and I was like, "Oh fuck, like this is probably not gonna be good." So I researched where it is, and it's like because quite a lot of care homes, if you also don't know, in the UK, it's like managed by quite a lot of different regional groups. So there's like a couple of different companies that do it in different regions, and then like you have like the main care home of like this is like the company that you work for, but it's branches, I guess. So I went to the one that's like about on the other side of town from me, and I saw that it was actually next to my old primary school that I went to from 4 to 11. So I was like, okay, well, at least I know the area, or I actually know where they're talking about. Like I know where they're located. So I was like, okay, well, this might be good. And I couldn't see them on the Google Earth's map, like when you plop the little man down, the little orange man down. So I couldn't see where it was, and it's because it's such a new build that the Google Maps car hasn't like gone over there and mapped it out on the street finder. So I was like, okay, well, this is it's okay, it's all right, it's fine. And so I like got the application off of my emails. I wrote it all out. I did a couple of different references from school and like my work placement. So I did all of that. And my mum basically said like, oh yeah, there might be a possibility that we might have to go in your dad's car, your dad's Mercedes, or your BMW, yeah, the Mercedes. So I was like, okay, well that's not brilliant, but okay. And then I was like, all right, then okay, that's fine. So I went to bed and I couldn't really sleep. We get to morning and my parents take the car for its MOT. They deliver it quite fast, and I'm getting a little bit stressed. And so my mum was like, "Okay, well, why don't you help me try and find your like your certificates for your qualifications?" So I was like, "Okay, yeah, no, that's fine." I like don't go up straight away to her, and so I go up a little bit later on, and she's like, "Oh, I found your certificates from year 11 and your resit, being like the resit qualifications that I did like a year afterwards." So I was like, look through those, and I saw the ones for Nottingham College. So I was like, oh yeah, no, that's really sweet. Like I'm really proud of myself for that. And she goes to me, Sophie, I can't find your birth certificate. Like, I know I keep it in this section of my wardrobe, but I can't find it. So I'm like, okay, this is a concern. This is worrying, this is not good. And so I like say to my mum, like, are you sure it's not in this blue tin that you have? She has like it's like this like filofax thing that quite a lot of people, especially I think in the 1980s, got these things to like keep documents in, because obviously there was the concern of the Cold War kind of had finished, by the way, I'm pretty sure at that point. And there was obviously still that little bit of, oh well, you never know what's going to happen, like keep your documents safe and all that. I don't know how on earth that's going to help in the event of a nuclear war, but like, okay. And so I was like, Mum, check in that box, please. Like, you need to check in that box. Otherwise, like, I don't know what's going to happen. And she also starts going through, like, my baby pictures. And I'm like, Mum, focus. I get it. These are 21 years old. You want to show me my baby pictures because they're adorable. Do not get me wrong. These are really, really cute. But right now, you need to find this birth certificate. Otherwise, I'm not going to be able to go to this interview. And so she's like, okay. And so she looks in this box, and the first thing she pulls out is my birth certificate with my national insurance letter inside of it. So I'm like, for God's sakes, Mum, come on, play the game. I'm stressed about this interview. Come on, play the game. And so she's like, okay, sorry about that, Sophie. And so my mum and my dad obviously then go off to get the car from the MOT place. That's actually quite close to the interview place as well. And she's like, she phones me up about 20 minutes after, and she's like, Sophie, they closed Sainsbury's Road. They closed off that road. We're going to have to go around the outside. And I'm not the biggest fan of going around the outside of my town because you have to go on this like really big roundabout that's like super duper stressful for me, and you have to go on like dual carriageways and all that. I will eventually get to ITZY, by the way, the group that we are covering today. I will get on to ITZY. And so I am kind of like, okay, well, all right then, that's fine. It's not ideal, but it's fine. So I go upstairs, I get dressed, and I decide to wear like this stretchy skirt from New Look, tights. I decide to go on a white top. And so I'm like, okay, you know, I look nice, I look fine, you know, I look presentable. And like we get all ready, and there's like iron like dust or dirt on my blazer. So I'm like, okay, fine, whatever, that's fine. You know, it's fine because I'm not going to be wearing my blazer because I get really sweaty and really hot in stressful situations. So I'm like, this is fine. It's not fine, but it's fine. You know, it's fine. Okay, we'll just go with it. And my dad puts this little piece of paper that's like a phrase that we usually say to each other in my pocket, and I'm like, this is not helpful right now. We just need to get to this interview. So we get to the interview and it's all fine. And my mum says to me, oh, Sophie, do you want me to go in with you just to like explain like, oh, you know, you've got autism and like, you know, this, that, and the other. So I'm like, okay, you know, that's fine. And a spider starts coming towards me in the car, like it drops down on my back. So I'm like, oh my God, I literally like lurch out the car. My mum's like, Sophie, you can't do that around here, okay? People are going to think you're weird. I'm like, people are already going to think I'm weird for having to go in with my mother to a job interview. Like, come on, Mum. So we go into the place and I'm like, oh no. Like sometimes when you have anxiety, you can just tell, or like when you're anxious about something, like you can just tell when something's it's not gonna go well. And so I don't even fight it. I'm just like, no, this is not gonna go well. So my mum goes in and she explains to this lady that's like really nice, apparently, on the counter. I didn't actually end up talking to her because I escaped that much. And so she like explains the job to my mum. My mum's like telling her all about this. I can hear her through the door. And my mum comes back through, and my mum says to the lady, "Oh, I'll try and get Sophie to come through, but I don't know." And so my mum's like, "Actually, I don't think this job's going to be good for you." But the lady says that if you see another job and it's in the future that you think is going to be better, you can give her a ring and she can go through the job with you. And she's like, oh, you can also do volunteering. And I'm like, kind of low-key, high-key offended by that because I'm not against volunteering. Don't get me wrong, I'm not against volunteering. If you do that, good on you, you know, you're a bigger person than I could ever be. I did volunteering for 4 months, but that was when I was in school, so I didn't have to make my own money. But at 20, having not had a job and only getting 30 £300 from Universal Credit every month, being offered the alternative of doing voluntary work, making teas and coffees for the residents there, when everyone else is getting paid, everyone else is paying for the services of being at the nursing home. I felt really offended because it's basically like a slap in the face of that it's doing everyone else's jobs that no one wants to do and not getting paid for it. And I said to my mum, just make a decision, please, mum. I'm like kind of getting like upset about it because I just want to have a job. I want to. I guess it kind of gets into like the whole autism thing, really, of that. My whole life, basically, I didn't know I was autistic until obviously I got diagnosed, but I didn't know what autism was until I was 13. And I thought it sounded like a really, really sad disability to have because, you know, it affects basically your whole entire life. And it really does. Like, it affects things that you wouldn't think it would do. And like it really just does a number on your life sometimes, or like anxiety connected to autism really does a number on your life, because sometimes actually when a kid doesn't get diagnosed until later, this is talking from my personal experience and other people's experiences that I've heard, that things go well, or at least they don't appear to be bad until the kid reaches about 12, 13, 14, puberty. And then things kind of go a bit pear-shaped. They tend to get anxious a lot more. They kind of are, they're dealing with a lot more issues than they probably did before. Not issues, but like things that they didn't really deal with much before when they were younger. And that is definitely the case for me, because I hate going out in public. I genuinely do hate it. My safe space is the living room. I don't even like really go into my grandparents anymore, at least my nan, because my granddad passed away in November. And like this job interview, it was important to me because, you know, I could just do cleaning. I could just mind my own business whilst everything else is happening around me. I could just focus on what I'm cleaning. And not even being able to step a few feet into the room where I'd have to go in to go to my job made me really upset. And I actually like had a sort of go at my mum, not like bad, not like intentionally. I apologized after when she was like, it's fine, so I understand. And I was proper full on getting upset of just that, like you know, I didn't want to have autism. Nobody exactly, like, you know, in like when you're being made and the mother, and when like the DNA gets like made and stuff, I don't know, the cells do the selling thing, like, you know, you're never going to choose to have autism, and I wouldn't change being autistic for the world. Even if someone like came to me right now and was like, Sophie, this drug can make you just like everyone else, can, you know, make having a job so much easier, I'd actually turn them down, because I'm so used to like having such a creative mind and being funny and being a wonderful pet mum to the cats, being a wonderful daughter to my parents, being a wonderful sister to my sister, and I wouldn't change it for the world, even if, like, you know, the job issue continues on and I can't work, and I just left with basically nothing. I wouldn't change it, even though it is really upsetting and it is something that like really does get me down sometimes when I can't do something. I wouldn't change it because I don't know anything different than this. I know what life is like when, you know, things are good, and I treasure those moments. But when things are bad, they do tend to get really bad. But I like where I'm at with my life at the moment, even if it does seem kind of sad or like bad to some people. The fact that I get to sit here and do a podcast and it's getting traction, and I get to listen to K-pop every day, and I potentially might be starting a small business around K-pop. That's amazing to me. Like, you know, it might not continue to be K-pop jewelry, but if I can do something creative with the rest of my life, then that's a win in my books. Even if it doesn't seem like it to anyone else, I'm happy with what I'm doing today. And if I can carry on being happy, then that's okay with me, you know. Anyway, 20 minutes into doing a podcast episode, we are finally actually going to get on to ITZY. Yeah, under JYP Entertainment. ITZY is a 5-member girl group. They debuted on the 11th of February 2019 with Yeji, Leah, Ryujin, Cheryong, and Yuna. And they debuted with the single album, It's Different. Okay. So the group's name is made from the Korean word to have, which means that the group has everything that you're expecting in it, and it ties in with their introduction of all in us, hello, we are ITZY. Yeah. All I have stuck in my head right now, it's one of the members going, ITZY! And like, it's from one of their songs, but I don't know which one it is from. Their fandom name is Mitzi, and their fandom colour is magenta. Ooh, fun. And their dorms have recently changed in this month, actually. So all the members now have solo rooms, which is good because typically when you first debut, you're probably going to be in either all the same room, or you're going to have like a roommate. So probably it would be like 2 members and then 3 members in a room, in 2 rooms together. Okay. So firstly, we have Yeji, or Huang Yeji, or Lucy Huang, is the leader, main dancer, sub-vocalist and sub-rapper, born on the 26th of May 2000. Now, I want to say this before, just in case anyone's like, oh, what do you think about the Hyunjin and Yeji being siblings thing, being twins? I don't care, honestly. I have too many fish to fry, too many things to think about than 2 people being twins. Because quite frankly, I don't think it really matters at the end of the day, because we recently found out that like some members of NCT, who I talked about a few weeks ago, actually have siblings who are also in the entertainment industry, and I don't think it really matters that much. It's like if I got into Egyptology and my sister was like, this is my sister Sophie, she is 4 years younger than me, and they were like, oh my god, that's so amazing. I'm like, no, it's not, I'm just here. I'm like, I don't care. But I would never get into Egyptology because that's my sister's thing, and quite frankly, I don't really like it. It really bores me. It's like how Victorian England bores my sister, but I love it. Anyway, her zodiac sign is Gemini, her Chinese zodiac sign is Dragon, and she's 167 centimeters tall, or 5'6". I will say this: a lot of female K-pop idols are actually quite small, quite short. I think it's something to do with, like, I'm going to be honest, Asian genetics. A lot of the time, like, people who come from Asia are quite short, traditionally, like in the, I guess, like the olden days. It has gotten better or less, I don't know, what is the word? I don't even know how you would even say about this, but like, yeah, people who come from like the Asian background aren't that short. Like it probably has something. It has something to do with evolution and just like genetics and DNA and cell mutations. I don't know. There's something that it's to do with the environment as well, actually. We're not going to get into it because we're not a science podcast, but evolution, where people live, what they ate, ancestry, plays a big part into how people's heights, and also the cells of the DNA, the cell mutations, like I said, of, for example, just taking me, for example, my dad's 6'5", my mum is 5'6", I'm 5'7", my sister is 5'11". So we're relative. I'm kind of on the shorter end of the tallish spectrum. My sister is in the middle, and my dad's kind of tall. My mum is short. But me and my sister kind of average out the height of both my parents. So if you had like a 7 foot, I just got an email, 7 foot American person and then a 5 foot Asian person, it would roundabout be, oh sweet Jesus, I don't even, this is the problem, I don't even know where the emails come from because I have 2 different email accounts. Anyway, so it is just a thing that people can be sure. The size of the height of them would probably average out to be 5'6", because that's just how heights work. Anyway, so Yeji is Korean. She was born in Wonsang in Jeonju in South Korea, and she has an older sister born in 1998. Ooh. She trained for about 3 years. She's close to AB6's Dahui, which is surprisingly I should mention that because quite a lot of, I don't know about international netizens, but Korean ones love to make out that everyone is dating each other. And I think at this point we are aware that Korean idols can be in love with people who do not come from the same industry as them. Like Jongdae from EXO, Chen, he married a non-celebrity woman and has 2 children with her. So I don't know what to tell you. Next member is Ryujin, or Shin Ryujin, or Joanne Shin, is the main rapper, lead dancer, sub-vocalist, and center, and was born on the 17th of April 2001. She is an Aries. Chinese zodiac sign is a snake, and she is 164 centimeters tall, or 5'4". She is also Korean, and her representative color is red. She was born in Chuncheon in Gangwon in South Korea, but her hometown is Seoul. She has an older brother called Ryu Song, who was born in 1998. So they're same age as Yeji's brother, I think. And she starred in BTS's Love Yourself highlight reel, and she was J-Hope and Jimin's pair. Quite a lot of the, I think all of the people who were in the highlight reel, like as the pairs, are actual like K-pop idols now. I don't know. And she appeared in episode 1 of Stray Kids' survival show. And she was a contestant. I have an itch in my ear. I love that for me. I just feel like I needed to mention that. Oh, that's better. Yeah. I forgot what I was talking about. She was in Stray Kids' survival show. And I think a number of different now K-pop idols, now soloists have also appeared in that show. So at some point I will talk about that. I think I might talk about that in next month, actually. Might do that. And Yang Hyun-suk, or the former CEO of YG Entertainment, offered her to join YG, but she stayed at JYP Entertainment. She has 2 cats too. And she got casted actually at a GOT7 fan meet. And honestly, that sounds like my worst nightmare in the world. like actually like someone coming up to me and talking to me when I'm just sat there and I'm like, no, go away. I don't want to social interact today. No. Imagine me going to like a Spotify podcast like a meet and greet, or like I don't know, like a meet and greet somewhere, and I'm just not in the socializing mood. And like I don't know, you lot coming up to me and you're all just like, you good, Sophie? And I'm like, no, just like, no, I don't want to be here. No. I'm quite up for socializing, but I also don't like it too much. I think that's pretty normal for people to like not be too wanting to interact. Yeah. Cheryong or Lee Cheryong or Selena Lee is the main dancer, sub-vocalist, and sub-rapper. She was born on the 5th of June 2001, making her a Gemini or a snake in Chinese zodiac. And she's 166 centimeters tall or 5'5", and she is also Korean. I think all the members of ITZY are actually Korean, or maybe no, I think Lee is a Korean American. Okay. Her hometown is Yongin in South Korea, and her older sister is Lee Chae-young, who is a soloist, and her younger sister is Lee Chae-min, who I don't believe is in the K-pop industry. So they actually all have the first syllable name of Chae. That's pretty common in Korean names, actually, to have similar syllables, at least in a part of their name. So yeah, but it's not actually quite common in the Western world. Obviously, it's my name is Sophie, my sister's name is completely different. It's completely different length, starting letter. Yeah, but yeah, I've got nothing else to say about that. I just kind of have to stop myself. I'm like, yeah, no, you've made your point, Sophie. She became a trainee in 2014, meaning she trained for about 5 years. And her English name used to be Judy Lee before she changed it to Serena. Ooh. And her, along with her sister Chae-young, auditioned for Fantasia in 2012, but didn't make it. She was also a contestant on 16 when she was 14, but she ranked 12th. And she was a contestant on K-pop Star 3 when she was 11. My favourite group is Girls' Generation. Fair enough. She's close to all the members of TWICE, John Somi, and Thomas Lyons Jiwon. The reason why she's friends with Somi is because obviously Somi was a JYP trainee, but actually she was probably going to be a part of ITZY had she not then cancelled her contract and then moved to the black label. Yeah, and she's also close to AB6IX's Dahui too. Next member is Yuna, Shin Yuna, or just I can't say that. I'm sorry, I can't say that. She's the lead rapper, lead dancer, sub-vocalist, visual, and Mac name. Born on the 9th of December 2003, means she's the only member who is actually younger than me. And she is a Sagittarius and a goat. My Chinese zodiac is also goat. Obviously. And she's 170 centimeters tall, meaning she is actually the tallest member at 5'7", and she's about the same height as me. Also Korean. Her hometown is Suwon. She has an older sister, and I am scratching my eye. She was also in the highlight reel for BTS, and she was Jungkook's pair. And she trained for 3 years, and she played floorball for about 4 years. And yeah, in her opinion, the best Blackpink song is Forever Young. I disagree, it's Kick It. Yeah, but you can have whatever opinion you want to. And then Leah's birth name is Choi Jisoo. Her English name is Julia Choi. And she's the main vocalist and sub-rapper. She was born on the 21st of July 2000, making her a Cancer, and her zodiac, Chinese zodiac, is Dragon. And she is 162.3 centimeters tall, making her 5'3" 3/4. Love that. That's amazing. Amazing to know like the exact point of it. Normally you just say like rounded either up or down. And she was born in Incheon, South Korea, but she used to live in Canada. She has a younger brother, and one of her nicknames is Lovelier. That is actually really cute. I love that. Oh my god, this is actually really interesting, like her education. So she went to Incheon Singsong Elementary School and she graduated there, and Shinsung Middle School transferred to the Northern College 8 School of Jeju. She transferred again to Shingdong Middle School again, and then graduated from the Seoul Performing Arts High School, or SOPA, in the Department of Practical Music. She was a trainee for more than 2 years. Sorry about here if you heard the bird just then, it was very loud. She was a trainee for more than 2 years, and she was a former SM trainee. However, it was announced that she was going to be taking a health hiatus due to anxiety on the 18th of September 2023. And she didn't participate in the Born to Be comeback, but did release a solo song called Blossom in the album. She has posted on her Instagram, like her personal Instagram, that was released upon the 5th anniversary of Stray Kids of ITZY. However, it's not been announced whether or not she will be coming back soon. Hopefully she does, but I do want her to get fully better before she does, because anxiety is evil sometimes. I'm not even ashamed to admit that it is, honest to God, sometimes the worst. Yeah, so my opinions on ITZY, I don't really have many opinions on ITZY. ITZY reminds me so much of this concept in life of the middle child syndrome, of that you have TWICE, and then you have ITZY, and then you have NMIXX. NMIXX is just the weird younger sibling that you just sort of kind of question if they're okay, but like they're off just doing their own thing. They're like having fun in their own little weird world. And TWICE is like the sophisticated older sister that knows her shit and like knows what she's doing. And ITZY, they're ITZY. They're themselves. They're just having fun, you know. They understand that, you know, they're a little bit different. They're not weird to NMIXX's level, but they're also not like sleek and like, I don't know, like they're not TWICE. They're not, you know, that level of perfection, I guess you could say. They're ITZY, and I actually kind of like some of their music. I love 24 Hours, just like it, the line of ITZY for 24 hours, da 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 da. So that's like Korean. Gets stuck in my head all the time. I love Mafia in the Morning because it's so strange. And yeah, I mean, the problem is with ITZY is that I feel like it gets a bad rap of like they were so good in the beginning and then Mafia in the Morning happened. And I'm like, that's just ITZY. They're just themselves. They don't take themselves too seriously. And the problem is that I feel like quite a lot of groups, like, they want to be taken so seriously, and then they're like, oh wait, nah, let's not take ourselves too seriously. And like, I get that from ITZY actually. Like, in the beginning, they were trying to be like the little sisters to TWICE and be like, you know, this is the next generation of JYP. And then Mafia in the Morning happened, and they were like, nah, let's be weird, woo, woohoo. I don't know if that's true or not. I love their newest title track, actually, Born to Be, or whatever that blubbing song was called. I don't remember. I think it was Born to Be. I actually really liked it. I'm sorry, I just moved because my back hurts. I love complaining. I really liked that song because again, it was weird. And like the problem is that I don't want it to seem like I'm hating on these groups because I genuinely don't. I have nothing against them, but I just don't really care. I just don't have enough, I guess, like compassion or enough desire to really form an opinion because I know what some like people are like on the internet, or just like you're hating for the sake of hating, and I'm like, I'm not hating. I don't hate anyone really. There are very few people I actually hate in this world, and none of them are K-pop idols. Like I have a list. I have a list of people I genuinely do hate. But no K-pop group, no idols are on that list. Like there are some that I just don't really like their vibe. But ITZY, they just kind of exist in my mind rent free sometimes. And I'm like, I've got nothing against them because they're not doing anything to hurt me. So I'm just like, yeah, the music is good to slap on sometimes when I want a bit of, I guess, female empowerment or just like empowerment in general, not just for girls. Like, guys, you can listen to ITZY if you want to too. Yeah, that's pretty much. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. But that's pretty much everything on ITZY, my opinions on them. My job interview that failed miserably. If anything further happens with the jewelry business, I'll let you know. But if not, then yeah, I will see you lot again on Friday with an episode about NMIXX and Ginny, all that lovely situation. And on Sunday it will be twice his episode, and me Samo and talking about everything to do with that side of JYP. Anyway, I really hope you have a wonderful rest of your Wednesday. Very sorry about this episode going up a little bit later than usual. However, I am actually recording this today. But yeah, I will talk to you again on Friday. Bye.